This is the desert. The desert is a dangerous place. There is no food or water there. People can die in the desert. The sun is so hot that people wear many clothes to keep the sun from burning their skin. When the wind blows, the sand stings your face and hands. People need protection from the blowing sand. At night it is cold, and you need many clothes to keep warm. The desert is a dangerous place. People do not go there unless they have to. This is Jerusalem. Here is the wall. Inside is the temple built for God. Here are the people of God. They knew that God was in the temple, but they also thought it was the only place where you could pray to God. People thought that the wall of the city would protect them from everything. But then the Assyrians came and they attacked the city. It was a terrible time. People fought and some starved to death. Finally, the Assyrians went away. Then the Babylonians came, and they did not go away. Their king wanted the city of Jerusalem for himself. They broke down the walls and burned the temple. They took many of the people away. Only a few were left in the land. The soldiers marched God's people away from Jerusalem. They looked back at the smoke of the burning city and wondered if they would ever see it again. As they walked through the desert, they had to get up when the soldiers said. They had to eat what the soldiers said. They had to go where the soldiers said. They had to go to bed when the soldiers said. They grew weary, and some died. It took a long time. The people of God were in exile. They could not go home. When they came to Babylon, they hung their harps on the weeping willow trees and sang sad songs. They dreamed of Jerusalem and the temple, but they could not go back. They even faced Jerusalem when they said their prayers. Slowly, God's people began to understand that God was in this place too. God's presence came to them as they gathered to read the scriptures, to tell the old stories, and to pray. The king of Babylon allowed many of God's people to work. They set up little stores and some worked for the king. It was a shock when the king of Persia came with his army and took Babylon for himself. This new king began to let some of the people go back to Jerusalem. Some went with Ezra. They began to rebuild the temple. More were allowed to go back. They went with Nehemiah. They rebuilt the walls around the city. The people of God were no longer in exile. They could go home again. Do you know what happened? Not all of them went home. Now they knew God was in this strange and foreign land. Some stayed because God was there too. I wonder what part of the story you liked best. I wonder what part of the story is the most important. I wonder where you are in the story, or what part of the story is about you.